Welcome into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Find tickets to Commanders games and more. SeatGeek. Live from Northwest Stadium is your host, Brian Colbert Jr., joined by Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell and Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss.
Welcome into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. You can find your tickets to Commanders game and more at SeatGeek. Now, these are live views from the sidelines at Northwest Stadium. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr., here with Santana Moss, Brian Mitchell, and London Fletcher. These live views are brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, the network Commanders can rely on. It don't look as cold from that live view, fellas, but let me tell y'all right now, up here, it is extremely, extremely cold. But this is football weather right here. We got the dogs out here, and we're taking on NFC East rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Fellas, how are y'all feeling coming into today's game? It's a big one.
Feel good. I mean, we were playing well early in the game the last time we played them, and then all of a sudden, we didn't take advantage of some opportunities that we had, and then things went awry. But right now, this is the type of weather where nobody has an advantage. You know what I mean? Hell, they're going through the same things we're going through, but ultimately we understand if we go out there and handle our business and don't give them anything, we have a great chance of winning this football game.
I feel real good, too. I think it's tough to beat any team in this division twice. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that when you watch us play last time, like I said before, they caught us at the right time. Short week, banged up team, and we didn't play our best at the same time. So this time around, I'm pretty sure those guys have those memories of what they didn't do well, and they probably was talked to ad nauseum this week about just going out there and taking care of their business.
I think two things are going in our favor in this ball game. As Tanner mentioned, the first time they called us, it was a short week for us. We were banged up. We weren't at full strength, weren't at our best. Philly played, a pretty good football game. We've seen them, hitting on all cylinders. Also, another thing that's going to help us, we're healthy in this game, but offensively, we didn't play a great game against the New Orleans Saints. What happens? You win a game, now you go through practice week, correcting all the things you didn't do well against the New Orleans Saints, more focused, the coach can really harp on the details. I look for us to have a much better game, especially offensively, against the Philadelphia Eagles today.
And London, that's that defensive dog that you wore. And you had a game like this where it's cold, it's brick outside. You get a little more amped up knowing those hits are going to hurt a little more on that offense?
Yeah, this is my type of game. Tyler and I, we did the radio hit a little bit ago. When the weather's like this, I know for a guy like me who loves to hit, this is a bring your chin strap, bring your right elbow type of game. It's going to be physical. I love the fact that you got two teams that are going to try to run the football. And even when the receivers are catching the ball, I'm trying to impose my will and inflict as much punishment on these guys as possible. You really want to see, you'll see who loves football when the fourth quarter comes around, because it's going to be a lot colder and those hits start to add up.
And at this time of the year, though, that ball gets a little harder.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have opportunities. Defensive backs need to be watching receivers, ball coming off their hands, because you get those opportunities. I'm sure Tanner dealt with this dealing with in the days he played.
I've always had these hand warmers, in my hand warmer pack, and I made sure that day, if any other day I made sure I had that Hennessy with me too. Yeah.
We are not playing with that cold. Boy, I'd do anything for that head dog right now to warm up a little bit. Now, we're going to talk a lot about this game. London, thank you so much for joining us early. We know you got to go. While London takes off, let's hear from our head coach, Dan Quinn.
And, Coach, today we're taking on the Philadelphia Eagles for a second time. How much does that first game play into what's going to happen today?
A lot and a little at the same time. I'll explain what I mean.
Yeah.
We know a lot about them. We played them, before. And, in the first game, although it was close, it was not what we would have loved for our own performance, especially in certain areas. But the thing I would say that they don't know is that we have a lot more under the hood.
I was going to say, yeah.
And so there is things to be gained from that. And there's an edge to find. Usually when you play a division opponent, you kind of think of it in three things. What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? And what do I want to do exactly the same? Because each matchup's a little bit different, but if I liked one specific thing, let's do some more of that. We're not going to try this play, this scheme, this thing, but we are going to start doing one other thing that we like. So never is it rinse and repeat when you play the same team. Both teams will have a few new things that they haven't shown before, and that's what makes the division game so much fun, especially the second time around in the season.
That was your head coach, Dan Quinn, on the game plan. You can stream that right now on the Commanders YouTube as you get ready for this game. Now, this is our second time facing the Eagles. The final score was 26-18, but Saquon Barkley was the real story with 146 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, it's time for Gimme 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now, fellas, for this Gimme 5, Beamish, we're starting with you, of course. We talked about Saquon. Your first is stopping this Eagles run game.
Well, you got to win at the line of scrimmage. I think our defensive line has to make sure that they begin to get some penetration, and those linebackers be able to fill those gaps. Saquon Barkley is an unbelievable player, but he's not out this world, you know what I mean? I think he can be handled just like anybody else if you get to him early. But if you allow him an opportunity to get a rhythm, he's going to become a problem. The guy is having an outstanding year, could be an MVP this year, but ultimately, if you put that hammer and that hat on him early, you can stop him.
And in Tana, for our second one, it's all about getting 1-7 involved. We talk how important it is to get Terry McLaurin involved early. Why is that so important in this game?
I just think it's vital for our offense. I think if you watch the last outing, Terry didn't have he didn't have a good enough game. I think one catch that game, not that many targets. But I also remember that game, we weren't able to run the ball well. So this game going forward, we have to find a way to be balanced enough that we can get those one-on-one matchups on the outside so we can have a chance to get Terry the ball. Getting Terry the ball and getting him involved early shows that our offense are normally trending in the right direction. So I want to see that first quarter. I'm talking about first 5 plays. Make sure Terry at least get one of those catches.
And on top of that, Terry is the type of guy, he doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
But he listens. And it was a lot of talk after that first game. Quinyon mentioned a lot of guys were talking. I think you're going to look at Terry early. You'll see if he got that dog with him. Yeah. He's going to show him. He's going to show the young buck, this ain't just one game, buddy. You're seeing me again, and he's going to work him. I guarantee you.
And Beamish is almost poetic as our Commanders run out on the field. Our next one is getting this Commanders run game going.
Well, that's the thing about it. I mean, B-Rob, the offensive line was banged up in the first game. Yeah. Not something to make excuses, but it's facts. There were 3 other players with 3 injuries. And I think right now what you got to do is find a way to begin to move the ball. When we are running the football, our offense is so much more potent because now you get Jaden playing off of that. The passing game comes off of that. People try and stop it. Brian Robinson is the type of guy that keeps people off the football field, which will mean other offenses. So if he can run the ball effectively today, it's going to be a good game for us.
And Tanner, that's the perfect segue into our fourth one, playing complementary football. Something we talked about a lot this season. Yeah,
complementary football is one of those things that we didn't do well last outing. I think if you watch that game and way things transpire, our defense gave us opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Offensively, we couldn't find a way to score. So I think going forward, man, if you're trying to be in this game and compete against the best, these guys coming in here are going to be the #1 offense and defense. You have to do your part on both sides, all 3 phases. Even us, we had to do our part up here, so I definitely need to see a complementary football game today.
Now, fellas, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to add in the 5th one, and that one to me is very important. Yeah. Protecting Jaden Daniels. 8 sacks in this last game. Jaden Daniels hasn't been touched a lot this season, but in that last game he was touched. How can we keep him clean in this game?
Well, I think the offensive line is better now, but I think Jaden can help himself some too.
Yeah.
2 of those sacks, I think, were on him. 6 of those sacks could have been on the offensive line, but ultimately, it's not going to just be Jaden on the offensive line. Running backs, tight ends, everybody has to do a little something. Chip him a little bit on the way out to make sure he just gets a little bit more of a second to go out there and deliver a football.
Those are our 5 keys. Now, let's take a look at our injury report, see what guys may or may not be playing. It's today's injury report presented by Price Benowitz Injury Law, the proud personal injury firm of the Washington Commanders. Now, here's a look at today's injury report. Jeremy Trent, questionable. But what really stands out to me, guys, Zach Ertz noticed today as questionable. It sounds like he doesn't really want to miss playing his former team, and I cannot blame him. But now, let's hear from our other radio guy, Bram Weinstein, down on the field. It's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Take it away, Bram.
So I want to submit to you, and I know this is simplistic, but quarterbacks elevate play, And I don't believe the Philadelphia Eagles saw the best of Jaden Daniels in the first go-around for a number of reasons. Team was screaming for a bye. Jaden was still getting over a rib injury. And just the turnaround was really, really tough on a Thursday night. In the first 4 games of the season, throwing the ball, Jaden actually completed over 70% of his passes. Post the rib injury, he hadn't hit that number in any of the games until post the bye or right before it with Tennessee and New Orleans the last couple of weeks, so he's feeling better. Running the ball, in 10 occasions this year, he has at least one 10-plus yard run. That hadn't happened throughout the entire bye injury as well until the last couple of weeks. And against Philadelphia, 7 carries, 18 yards. He had his worst QBR and his second worst quarterback rating. I know Philadelphia has the #1 defense, but what I would submit to you today is that they haven't seen the best of Jaden Daniels, and that's what they may get today. So let's see how that shakes out today here at Northwest Stadium.
Now here's a look at Jaden Daniels' numbers in Week 15 in our win over the New Orleans Saints. Over 80% completion percentage, over 220 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 66 rushing yards on the ground. Very, very impressive to see that from our quarterback, and another extremely impressive quarterback. Super Bowl MVP, multiple-time Pro Bowl, beat his old teammate, Mark Rypien. Mark, it is so good to see you. You will be our legend of the game today. Now, we talked about this a little bit on the Next Man Up podcast. You were on this week. I appreciate that.
What a fun time we had.
Yes, man, what a good time we had. I appreciate that conversation.
I didn't know you were that fun of a guy. Mitch told me you're boring, you know.
I try to keep it low, but Mark, you bring out the best in me like you bring out the best in these Commanders fans. You will be on that field waving that flag. How special is this moment for you today?
I'm seeing too much green right now walking through this lobby, you know. And Mitch and I wore green for just a short
period.
Right. Mitch threw a couple balls, I don't know if you know, against the Eagles. Quarterback this for 2 series. Santana, you actually cheat those guys all the time.
I love playing against them.
I love playing against the Eagles. We love playing against the Eagles. And today I think we're going to watch our guys play really well against the Eagles.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, this type of game, when you go into a game like this, what's the differences that you had to do as a quarterback? Did you change up much?
No, not too much. I mean, one of the great things is as a football player, so we all are, this is the weather you want.
Yeah.
Because it might be cold up here, but down there on the field when you're in uniform and the adrenaline's going, everything like that, you just let it all hang out and let it go. And you look forward to games like this when it comes to December, and especially in the district here.
No doubt. Yeah. Hey, Mark, if you had a guy like Terry McLaurin playing with you back in your day, and you know one of the things that's vital for our offense to get going is find a way to get him the ball early and often, what would you be going to the game with? What kind of mindset would you go into the game with, knowing that Terry needs the ball early and often?
Well, we had 3 guys who were like Terry, you know, and that all wanted the football. You know, and it's you know, you put a lot of onus on Jaden to get the ball to Terry, but coverage dictates where the ball goes, you know, and I know we got to get the ball to 17.
Yes.
I mean, he's a special player, and he's had a tremendous year, and so I think it's more importantly, you got to find a way to get him the ball early, but don't force it either. And you look at what Jaden's been doing. He's thrown 6 picks all year, which is unbelievable. You know, when you look at it, completed over 70% of his passes. Our defense is playing great. They're 11 in NFL right now, total defense-wise. So things are coming together. You know, this team is coming together. You're playing at home. We need to get this crowd going early. But getting Terry, I think, Santana into the game early would be crucial to the success of this team.
Many people think quarterbacks just want to throw the football, but I think we all know how important that running game is for us. How important is it for them to get Brian Robinson going?
Well, he's an integral part. You know, that trial by committee is down because of injuries, and so Brian's going to have to be the guy right now that's going to take the load. And I think when you got a guy like him that can do it, you know, he can be a first down back, third down back, he can do it all. You got to get that running part of your game in order to get things in the passing game. I mean, we're successful at making big plays in 91, 92 because of our running game. Because you start bringing those safeties up on the line of scrimmage, you got big plays behind it, and that's what we have to do. We have to be able to run the football and be able to be physical against this team.
And you talk about big plays, a guy that knows how to make those big plays. You mentioned him, Jaden Daniels. What a rookie season he's had. You touched on some of those stats. In your opinion, what makes Jaden Daniels such a special quarterback for the Burgundy and Gold?
Student of the game. I mean, he does everything everything you ask him to do. He's a good guy off the field. More important, he's a good guy in the locker room, and he's the guy that sets the tempo for this team. You know, they've asked him to do a heck of a lot in his first year here, and that's difficult to do in this league. You know, I mean, you look at his or the guy that went before him, Caleb Williams. You get on a football team that, you know, is bickering amongst each other. It's not easy. Not even though Caleb, I think, is having a good year. But Jaden is having one of those years where it's so special to watch him play. His gait and what he does out there on the field, the leadership qualities that he brings, just a student of the game. I mean, I wish I would have had those binocular things to use back in the day. You know,
They had invented those.
yeah, exactly. I wish I also had too much loft when I played. Lack of frickin' talent. It's nice to have the talent he has too. His escapability. I always say that in golf. I got too much loft in the club. What do you mean too much loft? Yeah, lack of frickin' talent is what you have. But Jaden has so much talent. He's very gifted. His escapability, his ability to make plays when it doesn't happen. But he's also very comfortable in the pocket, and he makes plays through the pocket. And he's just a great, fun guy to watch play. I mean, you look on highlights every week, and there's a Jaden Daniels highlight.
Well, Mark, luckily you didn't need the virtual reality back in your day to get those Super Bowls. Congratulations on all your success. Shout out on you for being the legend of the game. All three of y'all have been a legend of the game. But they saved one of the best for last, Mark, so thank you so much. One of the greatest quarterbacks to ever wear the burgundy and gold.
Thanks, Brian. It's always good to be back in the DMV. I know Mitch and Santana and you guys live here, but it's always great to bring my family back. My little grandson who's he might be in the huddle right now.
We
He's
appreciate
6
you
years
bringing
old,
the cold
so
weather here
absolutely.
with us.
Thank
Now,
you, guys.
Another member of our
Merry
team.
Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
to you.
Let's send it
Happy
over
holidays.
to our guy,
Appreciate it.
the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot, who is tailgating with the fans, and I know he's cold.
Oh, Freddie. Oh, yeah. You know he's having fun. Big old smile on his face, too.
Always. This is Tailgate Time, brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Washington Commanders. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. All right, we out here live, brought to you by Bud Light. This is the real tailgate experience. Tell me, why Philly cheesesteak today, baby? Because we're going to eat the Eagles. Now I got to ask you this. How you feel that we let the Eagles fans come tailgate with us, but we can't go to the link? All right, we can't go to the link. What's up with that?
Well, we gonna show them what brotherly love is really all about, and they gotta learn from us.
You right about that. They are the city of brotherly love that shows nobody no love. All right, I'm gonna let you predict the game today. What's the score at the end of the game today?
21-14 Washington.
Hell yeah!
All right.
That's what I'm talking about right there, baby. Thank you, brother.
All right, Fred.
Our guy, the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot. You know we can't have Fred on without his best friend on, Logan Paulson. Logan, good to see you, buddy. Now, on the Command Center, and honestly, all season, we've talked about the development of Jaden Daniels. What do you want to see from him today as he continues to progress?
I mean, I think this is going to be the biggest test for him probably of the year, right? This is probably the best defense in football at the moment, or at least they're playing that way. So how do you handle the pressure? Can you keep yourself on rhythm and on time? Can you make sure you're making good decisions? They disguise coverages really, really well. Yeah. Can you trust what you're seeing and make tight window throws? That's what they demand that you do every single week. So to me, this is maybe the most impactful, most significant test he's going to have. And I'm so excited to watch this young man do it, because every single time we've given him something. So I think about the first matchup, struggle a little bit. I just expect him to improve, and I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Speaking about might be his biggest test, how much do you think that falls on Cliff Kingsbury also, just making sure that you put him in the right situation?
Yeah, Tim, I think that's a great question, because I think one of the things about this Vic Fangio defense is they do such a good job of matching and relating to formation and relating to motion. Can you give him a tell? Can you give him the answers to the test before we start? Can you find ways to get play action involved, move the pocket, change the launch point, use all his skills to his advantage while not overloading him? And I think that's one of the things that's so challenging about being a coordinator in the NFL.
In the first game, they did get some pressure on us, and people look at the offensive line. How important is for the tight ends and the running backs to pick up those blocks as well?
I mean, I think, Mitch, you know this probably better than anybody, and I think you know the answer to the question before you even asked it, right? That when the tight ends are on, like when they're locked in from a pass protection standpoint, that's huge, because you can set slides certain ways. You can use chip help in certain ways. When Bates is involved as a pass protector and he can win one-on-ones, again, you can slide away from him. It is extremely important to put those guys in good positions to be successful and utilize their skill set. So I think that's going to be a huge piece today for sure.
And then you talk about this run game with Brian Robinson Jr., but you also have the team, right? And Jerry Nichols, you have Chris Rodriguez. You have these guys that have kind of worked, as Mark said, he's kind of worked as like a fill-in type running back game. How do you expect them to fare today against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, I think it starts and ends with the offensive line and how they're going to play, right? I think when you look at the first matchup, you look at Jalen Carter specifically, man, and what he was able to do from a penetration up the field standpoint and how that really negatively affected our pin pull stuff. Where is he at? Can you dictate where he's going to line up versus the formation? Can we make sure we're double teaming to the front side? Can we trap? Can we wham him? When guys get up the field like that, you can take advantage of that play style, and I expect Cliff to do that today.
Quinyon Mitchell had a pretty nice outing, I guess you can say, last time. I mean, you talked about it after the game. You said, Tanner, he wasn't man-to-man all the time. What do you see going forward this week, in this matchup this week against him in 1-7?
So, again, like Quinyon Mitchell is doing a great job this year. Really, Slay's doing a great job. Their whole secondary is doing a great job. They play a lot of zone match coverages, right? So what I want to try and do is move Terry off his spot a little bit, right? Can I get him in the slot where Cooper DeJean's got to match him up or Bond's got to match him up? So that's something I would expect because, again, they're going to play quarters coverage, right? If you're running a vertical, you're going to run right into that zone. You're going to be in trouble. Can you move him around? Can we find different opportunities? Because to me, it's not – you're not fighting the player. You're fighting the scheme. You're fighting the defensive backfield. And so, again – moving him around with motion, lining him up in the slot, Terry specifically, that's going to be the difference in today's matchup, I think.
And I think what you mentioned about Jaden in the second matchup, how he improved. Terry's a guy that's kind of like that too, especially if the guy's been talking.
I mean, has he been talking? I don't know.
A lot of talking. Last season.
So I can't wait to watch that today for sure.
Well, Logan, thank you so much for your time, bro. Always great talking to you, man. You can catch him on the sideline doing the radio thing, and boy, you got gloves on, so I know you actually feel this cold. It's a little chilly.
And that jacket's a little thick too.
It is, man.
Got 2 or 3 jackets under there. I see you.
Layered up, man.
Layered up. We got
to be prepared,
Now, we got to head to break, but when we come back, we'll be talking more about this game, and we'll also be talking about keys to securing a win against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all coming up right here on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek.
You're watching Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. Live from Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland.
I have the coffee. Oh, that's not hot. That's hot. Yeah, blow on that for a little bit. Not here. So on SeatGeek, what is this deal score?
It grades seats to show whether a deal is amazing, great, good, not so good, bad, or awful based on your budget.
What a coincidence. That's how I classify my relatives.
Oh, really?
The only amazing is my cat, Walter. Let me show you some pictures.
Hold on. New Bet365 customers get how much? That can't be right.
It's true. Join Bet365 today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. You could spend them on bets like the spread, run line, totals, and player props.
Well, there you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Oh, amazing. Merry Christmas.
It's in you.
Love to give you a little reward.
This is reward enough.
I missed you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
Love this? Then you'll really like this. Because it leads to this. While this leads to this, and this. 100% verified NFL tickets only from Ticketmaster. Take it to the house every time. Ticketmaster, official marketplace of the NFL.
It was like the entire team at Northwest Federal Credit Union was invested in my future and the success of this business. When I tell you I'm a loyal client, it doesn't even begin to say it.
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live presented by SeatGeek. They never know what you'll find at Northwest Stadium, but it looks like Fred Smoot ran into another one of our activations out here. The Squid Game set up right outside Lot G. I know y'all remember that statue. Now go check that out if you're here at Northwest Stadium, but watch out for those pink guards. You know they watching Fred closely, y'all. You know they watching Fred closely, and oddly enough, they decided to come here and be with us. Now they haven't said a word. They haven't told us why they out here, but I gotta imagine they pretty cold. They pretty cold.
Now they got good. That's a good outfit right there.
I can see they a little layered up over there.
That's a good outfit.
Hey, well, listen, we gonna try to stay safe out here, but while we do that, it's time for our money matchup, brought to you by Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters. Now, since we're talking defense here, let's take a look at the Commanders' defense through the 2024 season, allowing just over 130 rushing yards, fourth in the league in passing yards, with a total of 321 total yards per game. So you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about this matchup right here. Now, the Squid Game people don't want to leave. They just want to stand here and chill. The handler telling them to get up out of here, but they want to go nowhere. I'm about to say, my man, they want to move at all. It's a different type of code up here, but let's talk about this defense. Now, we talked about it a little bit on how important it is to slow Saquon Barkley down. Beamish, why is it so important to take this running game out of their pocket, per se, for the Eagles?
You want to make any team one-dimensional. And the league today is about passing, but still, having to be able to run the football is the most important thing out there. If you can stop Saquon from running, and then now you take a weapon off the field.
Yeah.
Then they start trying to throw it more. You can stop that. You know, you can begin to pin your ears back and go after the quarterback. The ultimate thing is when they're running it effectively, they can play action pass, suck you up, throw the ball over the top. All those things you get alleviated once you stop the running game.
And Tana, our defense came up big last time when we played the Philadelphia Eagles. What are you looking to see from them today in this game, and how can we get off to a hot start?
Well, one of the things I talked about is, B. Mitchell alluded, talking about, stopping Saquon Barkley. He's a guy that you got to contain more so than stop. Yeah. It's hard to stop him. But one of the things that's going to be critical is how well Jalen Hurts played. And I think that's the guy that I want to see rattled, because I feel like if we can rattle him and slow him down, then that's all we have to worry about is a Saquon. And Jalen Hurts didn't have that much of a nice outing against us last time around, so this time he's going to be trying to go out there and redeem himself in that sense. But I think defensively, all we can do is what we do well. And I think now adding Marshawn Lattimore is going to be, a huge plus for us in the secondary and be able to shift some things. Maybe we bring that guy in the box a little more to make sure that we don't have to worry about Saquon breaking those long runs.
And Tana mentioned Marshawn Lattimore, man. Yeah. How great is it going to be to have him? Because we did not have him the last time we played Philly, and it kind of hurt us. How great is it going to be to have him against these tough Philly receivers?
Well, he's had good games against them before. Yeah. And the thing about him, I always go back to watching him play against Mike Evans, a tall, physical receiver. And Marshawn Lattimore does not shy away from any of that physicality.
Yeah, he want that smoke.
A.J. Brown wants to go out there and moss people. He wants to be physical against them. Well, Marshawn's not going to shy away from that. Yeah. And I think when he starts trying to get involved in that matchup with Marshawn, which he loves to do, he takes himself out the football game. So I love to see that.
And Tana, I caught up with Noga Ibnaghi on the Next Man Up podcast recently, and he talked about Marcus Lattimore and watching him growing up. He said, I'm a fan of him. He said, I love his game. When you have guys like that in the locker room, you're one of those guys that can mentor these young cats. How does that just help everybody in the locker room?
I think it helps us, to a certain degree when it comes to just knowing that you have that veteran presence. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you have that, these guys look up to you. So you don't have to really be a guy that be that vocal to have guys follow you. And that's what he brings. Everybody talk about how quiet he is and how he goes about his business. That's how I did things. I had guys like London just tell me after we was, done with playing, like, Tanner, I watched you. you know, and I'm saying to myself, London, I was watching you and I was staying out your way at the same time, you know. But it's great to just know that you have a guy that has that kind of presence, because you know that guys are going to be making sure that they say, hey, if I do anything, do it like that guy's doing, because he set the tone.
It's always crazy that I think about you in London, like seeing each other, respecting each other, but never actually talking to each other. But very, very excited to see this secondary. So you know what? Let's get into our exciting players to watch, presented by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Now, again, this week's exciting players to watch is our secondary. The Commanders secondary ranks 4th in the league in passing defense with just under 190 yards. Rookie Mike Sanders still recorded his 2nd career interception in last week's game against the Saints. Meanwhile, veteran Marshawn Lattimore had a lockdown day in his Commanders debut with 0 completions allowed in 53 snaps. That is so impressive. A group we're excited to see out here today against a strong Eagles offense. And speaking of exciting, Commanders family, there is still time to vote for your Commanders to make the Pro Bowl. Voting ends tomorrow, December 23rd. So be sure to put your votes in. You can put it on X with hashtag Pro Bowl vote plus player name, or on commanders.com/Pro Bowl. B. Mitch and Tanner, which players are getting your vote for the Pro Bowl?
Oh, man, I'm going Jaden. I'm going with the old man, Bobby Wagner, and I got to go with my dog. I'm going to have to say my son. Everybody keeps saying he looks like me. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I like Jaden, Terry, Louvu, Wagner.
Yeah.
Fowler. Put them all in there, man. I think we have at least 6 guys that should be getting a nod this year.
I love it. I like Jeremy Chin, too. Now, let's get into these most rewarding odds presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of the Washington Commanders. Please pay responsibly, and if you need to, remember, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, here's a look at today's game day details from out here at Northwest Stadium. The Commanders kick off against the Philadelphia Eagles at 1 p.m. You can catch the game on Fox. And now for our game day odds. The Washington Commanders are 4-point underdogs with a money line of plus 175 and an over-under of 46.5. Now, that's the odds for you. Now, before we go to break, in football, you got the game and the game before the game. And for Commanders fans, there's one place to be. At Fanatics Sportsbook at Commanders Field, you'll experience a pregame like no other. DJs, surprise guest appearances from Commanders alumni, and of course, bets, beers, and awesome food. So place a bet before the game, meet your heroes, and come and go as you wish. All at Fanatics Sportsbook, located at Gate H within Commanders Field. We'll see you there. Must be 21 plus. Please pay responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, when we come back, B. Mitch and Santana are talking what makes the NFC Conference never ordinary. That's coming up right after this short break on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. Don't go nowhere.
Amazing. Merry Christmas. It's in you.
We'd love to give you a little reward.
This is reward enough.
I missed you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
a test drive?
Absolutely.
There's the all-new Kicks, the new Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now.
Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue, one of 6 Nissan vehicles with starting MSRP under $30,000.
Nissan, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Hail to the Commanders!
Moments like this, you're faced with an important question. If a ball lands in a cup and no one else sees it, does it count? You bet your sweet 5-iron it does. Somewhere to smile about. Ocean City, Maryland. Oh wait, he's still going. Okay. Nice.
breaking news and a surprise contender in the marathon.
Yes, Rachel, someone has caught up to the front. He's carrying a fridge.
Something remarkable has just happened.
Talk about keeping your eye on the ball.
What's happening courtside?
From half court, he got it!
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Over to baseball. Richmond's gonna win.
There's no way. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Williamsburg is your home for the holidays. From fall foliage to winter wonderlands and everything in between, Williamsburg has it for less. Plan your affordable getaway today.
It was like the entire team at Northwest Federal Credit Union was invested in my future and the success of this business. When I tell you I'm a loyal client, it doesn't even begin to say it.
Welcome back into Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We are just under 30 minutes from kickoff. As you can see, the fans starting to fill up Northwest Stadium. Now, we know it's cold, but that don't matter when you repping the burgundy and gold. But you know what, it's time to take a look at these two teams and our never ordinary performers, presented by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This is the NFC playoff picture here, guys. The Lions and the Eagles have clinched. Boo the Eagles, but we still have a chance. You see we're sitting there at 7. The Vikings have clinched as well. We are right under the Packers, fellas. So when you see something like this, it means that every single game matters at this point. How great is it to see that there are actual playoff implications for us at this point in the season, fellas?
All right, it's fantastic because normally at this time of the year, we were thinking about going home, what we're going to do in the offseason. I'm loving this. You know, the first year of this whole new regime coming in, you can see that they changed things up. And it's the players, now they have something to play for.
Yeah.
And if you are a true competitor, you better bring it. You know, that's the whole thing about it. 3 games to go with this one today, and you finish like that. You need to go out there and lay it out all on the line to make sure you stay in that picture right there.
Yeah, I'm loving it too, fellas, but you can't be satisfied with just being in the hunt.
Yes,
So you got to go out there and know that, man, you have an opportunity that tomorrow's not promised. Next year's not promised.
Yes.
So these guys have to go out here and handle business today. Each and every week they have to have that kind of mindset.
Yes, sir, and it's crazy to think that they could actually clinch today with a lot of different things happening. I'm not going to get into that, but let's just look at the Week 16 schedule as far as the NFC is concerned. Now, the Giants are playing the Falcons. The Cardinals are playing the Panthers. Vikings and Seahawks, that's a very big game for us, fellas. Bucks at the Cowboys, another big game, and the Packers finally have their bye. Can't believe they have a later bye than we actually have. Now, those are the matches, but it's time to gear up for kickoff, presented by Fanatics. Anna Newkirk looking warm as ever, bringing us this gear. Now, this is from the Legacy Collection. You can get this over at the Commanders Fan Shop,
baby.
Over on the Concourse of Legends
I'm
Plaza.
liking this.
These is clean, and of course,
Still
B-Mitch,
bought the wrong size.
they aren't our size.
They are very smart.
Now, fellas, how can we gear up for kickoff today that is just a few moments away?
Well, the way we can gear up for kickoff is make sure we start off hot.
Yes, sir.
You know what? And hold that heat throughout the game. And the way what I'm trying to say is guys come out here, no mistakes, you know, and make sure you don't be the person to hurt your football team.
I said it before, man. It's all the marbles you got, baby. Put them on the line. You know, one of the things about games like this, you don't think about next week, what the implications is going to be next week. Nah, it's right now, today. This is your moment. This is that time to go out here and shine. This is you're going against one of the better teams in the league, and they're right here in your division. They say they're number 1. Go get it from them.
Go get it from them. Now, we have to go to break, but don't worry. We'll still be out in this cold when we come back. And when we come back, Santana and P-Mitch are sharing what it's going to take to secure this game against the Philadelphia Eagles from out here at Northwest Stadium. We'll be right back on Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek.
Attention football fans, are you ready to kick off the season with something special? Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company is opening a distillery and tasting lounge less than 15 minutes south of the Commanders in Northwest Stadium. And we are ready to be your go-to destination for all things spirits. Whether you're tailgating, hosting the ultimate game day party, or just enjoying a quality drink, Arthur Wheeler Spirits Company has you covered like the Commanders secondary. We've got the perfect lineup to keep your celebrations going strong.
VetTix secures unused event tickets to give back to the military and veteran community. The mission? To strengthen family bonds, build lifelong memories, and encourage service members and vets to stay engaged in their community. Giving out over 15 million tickets since 2008, VetTix continues to give something to those who gave. To find out how you can help give once-in-a-lifetime experiences to our veterans, service members, and their families, visit vettix.org today.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely. There's the all-new Kicks, the new Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now.
Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue, one of 6 Nissan vehicles with starting MSRP under $30,000.
Nissan, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Hail to the Commanders.
Hold on. New Bet365 customers get how much? That can't be right.
It's true. Join Bet365 today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. You could spend them on bets like the spread, run line, totals, and player props.
Well, there you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Is my head really that shape? Probably just impressionism. Wait, is he a genius? Should we start saving for our school?
When your questions about life turn into questions about money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America. What would you like the power to do?
Welcome back. It's a Command Center Game Day Live, presented by SeatGeek. We are just a few minutes away from game time out here at Northwest Stadium. So it's time for Secure the Game. Brought to you by Cognier. Secure today, shape tomorrow. Fellas, real quick so we can get up out of this cold. How can we secure a win in today's game?
We secure victory today by protecting our quarterback, controlling the line of scrimmage on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, pushing that, getting some pressure, getting some penetration against them, and making Saquon have to stop his feet and start again.
You know, I always said, man, the turnover battle is a key. And then we home, man. The home field advantage should be real key for us today, man. I want to see these fans go out there, man, get loud when they need to be, and offensively, defensively, special teams thrive off it, baby. Go out there and play some football that you haven't been played for all this year. You know, I want to say before, but all this year.
And fellas, you can see behind us, the fans are starting
to
feel in the building. The cold don't matter when you burgundy and gold. Now listen, we're going to get up out of here, but we will be back for Command Center Post-Game Live, presented by Nissan. Sometimes I get in my bag a little bit. This cold weather helps me a little bit. Now listen, we got to get up out of here, but we have a hype piece for you to get you in that zone for today's game. Let's get this win over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's get it.
For Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss, London Fletcher, Logan Paulson, Brad Watson,
and
Chris Smooth, and the Cole. I'm Brian Cole Jr. We out this thing.
Peace.